Well, the biggest opportunities for energy and comfort in the HVAC arena probably starts with the duct system. The average duct system loses about 40% of the energy that goes into it, whether it's cooling or heating, and the duct system ends up putting the wrong amount of cooling or heating into the rooms because they're not balanced well and not designed well. So, and this is in the residential area. And so that's a huge opportunity. I guess the next thing that I would bring up is probably the amount of refrigerant and the amount of airflow in an air conditioner or a heat pump, and the amount of airflow across the inside coil. So those are things that are chronically incorrect. About 2/3 of the units have the wrong amount of refrigerant in them, and better than half of them have low airflow compared to what they should have in order to be at their full efficiency. So the units are just not working properly, and the result of that is that oversizing is also a really big issue. So in order to cope with all these problems that get built in from the beginning, contractors and builders and even homeowners, when they request a new unit or replacement unit, tend to go to a unit that's way too big, and it just makes the problems even worse. The problems that, as a result of oversizing, the problems grow because you have too big an air conditioner for too small a duct system, so you can't get the right amount of airflow through it. You cover up problems with respect to the amount of refrigerant in the unit or the amount of airflow across the inside coil by just raising your utility bill. There are some other big problems with oversizing as well, and that is in climates where there's a good deal of humidity and you need to drain a lot of water out of the air, or pull a lot of water out of the air. In those areas, when you have a oversized unit, it runs for very short cycles, and very short cycles end up being very poor at removing moisture from the air. The most important information for builders to know about is that actually they can save money by having it done right, and save money by actually getting it verified so that they don't have to worry about and pay for oversized units. So actual verification of the installation will help a lot, and once they do that, they can also downsize the air conditioner, and as a result, they'll have a system that performs much better. It's a lot more efficient for a smaller air conditioner to run for a longer time, although interestingly enough, it makes homeowners nervous. So when you have the right-sized air conditioner, it's going to run for a really long time. But since it's smaller, it pulls less watts, and as a result, less kilowatt hours, even though it's running longer. And when it runs longer, it's able to pull moisture out of the air in the areas where you need that to happen. And yeah, intuitively, people think, okay, if my air conditioner goes on for a short period of time and then goes off, that's really good. But it's exactly the opposite. If the air conditioner runs for a long time, that's it running at its maximum efficiency. I guess the parallel is stop and start driving in the city as opposed to highway driving. At the beginning of the air conditioning cycle is very inefficient. It has to move the refrigerant around from where it started, et cetera, et cetera. It takes actually about 15 minutes to get to steady state. And the average length of an air conditioner run cycle, particularly an oversized one, is in the area of 3 to 5 minutes. So the result is that they run really inefficiently when they have those really short cycles. There is a common misconception that bigger is better, and that misconception is just absolutely wrong. You really want to have a smallest air conditioner that can do the job for you. And when we go out and measure and monitor systems, we see that the smaller systems with the smaller air handlers, adequate duct systems, and a smaller outdoor unit and smaller coil actually performs a whole lot better. for example, in Northern California, in one of the hotter areas up there, we just looked at a couple of houses that 3,500 square feet that have 2-ton air conditioners on them. And it's very hot in this particular area. And all the local contractors, except the guy who put it in, says, you know, you just can't do that. That's impossible. But it's working perfectly. It's keeping the house, both houses, cool down to their set points. Everything's working great. But the vast majority of the local contractors just can't believe it. That can't be done here. But it is. And the rest of them would put in a 4-ton unit. Convincing people it's the right way to go has been a long process and continues to be a long process. I think that there's improvements coming up. There's a proposal that in 2007, in order to get an Energy Star rating on new air conditioners, new central air conditioner, that the unit will actually have to be verified as being installed properly. So some of the stuff is starting to be picked up by some more mainstream organizations, and that helps. But it's a long haul, and frankly, the average homeowner doesn't think much about their air conditioner. And the average builder just tells the HVAC contractor to put in an air conditioner and to do it cheap. And you know, that's part of the issue, is it's not a really high priority for folks.